Hi all, Happy New Year 2017. So, yeah, I hope this year brings you lots of happiness and opportunities and cherish your loved ones and have a great time from chess and other things. Okay, so, gonna go through the challenges list and turn off the, mute this thing over here. So the challenges list. Marcel first. E4, best by test according to Fischer, but he did vary in the 1972 World Championship match rather cunningly. Avoiding preparation. So, yeah, this is pretty standard stuff so far in the Smith-Morra. Bishop f4 might provoke e5. In this position, actually, knight takes e5 seems possible. Actually, so I'll go with that. It's not immediately obvious why knight takes e5 is bad. I hope it's not because I'm hungover or something, but I think knight takes e5 is playable. It does look like a thematic move, but not in this position. I realised this nuance. Yeah, because I don't know, it's not quite right for e5. Is it? I'm going to find out. Bishop takes and then knight d5. I do seem to be a pawn up for not much. And there seems to be a poor little pawn on d6 now. So this is a good position, believe it or not, so far, I think. So rook g3, and then something like something else after. If I can keep a hold on the d5 square, it is opposite colour bishops. That's a good point. Rook d1. I can win another pawn with rook b3 here. As well as defend b2, I can win this other pawn. But it's still opposite colour bishops. The thing is, this leads to f7, taking on b7. It's more than just an accountant's pawn. I think it's of strategic value to take this pawn on b7, of great interest because of the f7 square. So rook takes b7 coming up. I think a second pawn. Or not. Am I going crazy? Taking that second pawn as rook b8 is a play, counterplay. In fact, there's a third pawn for taking bishop f7 with rook b8. It's got to watch out for my back row though. Alright, let's sort out the back row, maybe with g3. Avoid this being check. Or play queen f3. Which one? Queen f3 or king g2? I don't know. I'll do this. It's not if rook e8, queen d5. Okay, that's a safety point. So I think I've got to get out of the pin on rook e8. So queen f3 would make more sense if prompted, I think. I can always take on f7 on rook e8. Should I have stopped that? I'm just giving him pressure now on f2. Maybe that was a bit dumb of me to allow that. I'm hoping this is okay still. Oh, this looks a bit too ambitious, to be honest. It's like weakening the whole second rank for a start. Queen h5 threatens mate. There is the check. Oh, that is an annoying check. The check here, Queen h5, Queen g7. There's Rook d4 first. Got an interesting variation with Queen h5, check, King h3, check, King h4, Bishop f6. What about b4, just trying to win this bishop for fun? That doesn't seem to compromise too much. Rather than going for the king and allowing a check here and getting mated, I'll try and win this bishop on d4 instead. Now again, I don't want this queen lurking around. I'm going to take it off, I think, if and there's Queen a1. What about Queen d3 just to get the queens off? Being a chicken here. Check, Rook d2. I want the queens off. I'm a pawn up or something still. I don't need this hassle of things like coming to my king. Right, that's a bishop, surely. Two rooks on the 7th. Rook c8's concern. Probably not a major one, because I think I'm mating here. Rook h7. You can throw a check, King e3. You can throw a check, King e4. You can even try and queen his pawn, but it's time, isn't it? Rook h7. Oh, Muppets. I got bishop g2. Okay, I have to try and win this again. Oh, crikey. I have to try and win this game again. Okay. I'm still a pawn up. Am I not? Am I not a pawn up? So basically, what's happened is, I'm 2 pawns up. Okay, but yeah. Okay. This pawn's going to queen. This pawn's going to queen. This piggy's going to market for sure. Come on, b7, Rook a8. I'm taking this guy. Alright. Things look easier now. Trying to avoid the stalemates, which happens a lot in Bullet recently to me. Okay, thanks for the game, Marcel. Yeah, okay. Aldisto, hi. I'm going to try and play positioning against you, c4. A bit wary about your repertoire. I'm going to sidestep your repertoire with c4, I hope. Yeah, I'm going to play for b4 and try and chip away at black's centre a bit. It's exchanging the b pawn for the c pawn, and also getting this nice. Can I do this? Because takes knight g5. Bishop c3. I'll welcome g4. Let's make knight h4. I'd like to take over some light squares. Bishop c3, e4. Oh, does that win a piece? Okay, there's e4 here. Am I getting rolled over? I've still got queen b3 as an example. I don't think e4, f4 is desirable. Queen b3 might be, or bishop c3. Knight d5, bishop e5, knight takes. There's check. I might be able to play this. I don't want to allow e4, f4 there because that looks like getting squished a bit. e4, bishop g7, ef. Am I losing material? Right, queen b3 here, or e4 here. Okay, I'm wondering about e4 now. f4. Okay, let's not think too long. Try and keep things fluid for a bit longer. Run e4. Because actually there might be knight d2 to c4 if I keep... Yeah, g4, knight d2 to c4. Alright, here it's getting dangerous, isn't it? Knight c4. Because then I'm on e5 with knight c4. I'm hoping this is double-edged stuff. In other words, it can win, but it can lose this kind of weakness creation, voluntary weakness creation. So knight c4, and then something like d6. Well, knight c4 is pretty dangerous. Bishop a6, knight c4. Oh! Well, there's d6, hitting the rook, and knight e5 check after. So hitting the rook, knight takes e5, well, there's the rook, which I didn't notice last week. I could have taken someone's rook on a8. And I made a mental note. If you play the English opening, think about the bishop. It's one of the points of the English opening is this bishop, so all of the squares are kind of relevant on the diagonal. That was my mental note from last week. Missing bishop a8 and then going on to lose in one of the games. Okay. Yeah, if you've got a Finch, I'd say the bishop, yep. You should look out for the squares on the diagonal. Alright, thanks for the game, Alistair. Butterfly. Okay, butterfly. If I play stodge with d5, okay, there's gambit territory, is it? Now, what I don't like is sometimes is, actually in this position, e5 you can take because the knight's protecting the queen. c5 might be annoying. And now just maybe g6 to be annoying. I want the dynamic play. This is a check, king f8. This is getting a bit sharp because I can't, because queen g4, bishop d7. Yeah, it's getting a bit sharp. Has got the check. Alright, this is not too bad. I've got an F file to play with later. Okay, it's a 3-minute game. I need to get orientated. It's 3-minute actually as well. I was prepared for king f8, but it looks a bit dodgy what I was prepared for. But here it looks fine, the f file at the moment. Tempo gain almost, if that bishop wasn't protected. And alright, I got good square control. Play for b5. Try and disrupt d5. Oh, he's got queen e7. Hang on, that's nasty. Ouch. I'm losing a knight. Great. Oh, that's just fantastic. Is there any way of not losing a knight? Try and win a pawn. Centre pawn. Knight e4, rook e8. Okay, knight d5 here. I'm going to check. King g7. There's a check here. What was it? Oh, that wasn't clever. Yeah, it was typical 3-minute game, really. Disaster. Trying to avoid the stalemate. Yeah, okay. Not much time. I'm too intense on the 3-minute as well. Yeah, not much time to comment. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that was a disaster losing one of the knights like that. So this is a 3-minute as well. I've just noticed. Okay, fine. You're testing potential hangover for me. Okay. Now, by playing this, I'm trying to avoid just pet lines because it's more positional in nature. I'm trying to avoid pet lines. I'm going to take with the bishop. Hang on. If I get rid of the bishop, oh, queen g7, D6 is weaker after. I don't want to remove the D6 target. How do I not remove the D6 target? Okay. Since it seems fragile, especially my rook on here, I'm ready for D5. I'm ready for this G-file. There was a great game of Topalov in Gibraltar where he played a bit like this, you know, with undermining with G4, but White's king safety has to be carefully looked at here as well. Okay, I guess nothing's too hot right now. Can I try and use that G file or not? Maybe get ready for the G file. I don't know, taking out that light square bishop could be an idea. I'm just saying E3. I've just weakened F4, haven't I? That was clever. I can get back to protect F4 one day. F4's dropping at this rate. Well, there's Queen C5. Just the belt. There's no checks for me. I wonder about this miserable position. Okay. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. No, not there. Oh, I ran out of time as well. Okay, well played, well played. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, good one. Okay. Ah. Alright, so some sort of gambit here. I'm hoping this is some sort of dynamic play. He hasn't taken that. Okay. Why didn't he take it? Alright, I'll just take it for a moment. If I support this, I'm weakening some light squares, but you know, I don't know. I'll probably have to defend that e5. Knight h4 to g6. There's maybe queen f7. Can I nick this pawn? And knight h4 is even stronger than. So I'm tempted to nick that pawn, because maybe I can defend that. I don't know, queen f7 or bishop g6. Like knight h4, queen f7. If I just taken a dangerous pawn. Now if rook d3, bishop c4, oh, there is knight b4 to the rescue on rook a1, because bishop b3, there's rook a3. Yeah, why have I given myself this hassle? I'm wondering now. If it was worth it. Right, if he takes with the queen, I take here, so he's getting double pawns now, trying to keep my bishop a prisoner. I can actually do this, and maybe c6 next on b3. Well, I can take. Okay, and this 7th rank is a problem, I take it. Yeah. And if queen h5, is there like rook f7 out of interest? If bishop a4, rook f7, a5 is a nice knight on b4 in any case. I mean, I'd want to, you know, sometimes go to, I mean, it looks like a weak, nice square. If he takes, I'm getting back the pressure on c4. a5, okay, take some rooks off. Knight g5, queen takes. Some a5. I can now take on c4. Or am I getting mated? You know, there might be knight d3. My king looks not very good. Yeah. No, this doesn't look very healthy. If the knight's not... looks as though I'm tied up. Can't do anything about that. Looks as though... Okay, I'll do something. I don't know. Just to keep the diagonal blocked. Shatter the pawns, but to keep the diagonal blocked. Because I don't like this g8 business. This is awkward. This is really awkward. If the rook was able to move, then queen f7. Example. Takes. Queen d2, rook b7, queen f7. So queen d... Well, he wants to get his queen over here. This is dangerous. Okay. My back row doesn't feel nice. Alright, rook b7 there. For queen f7. And there's still a mystery of this knight coming to h4 after, if that's dangerous or not. There's knight d3 breaking the connections here. And I've still got queen f7. Looks a little bit less bad than earlier. Okay, so in fact, this invasory rook, this rook b2, is that too dangerous? I don't want to try and kick this rook out with queen e7, or do I just take on b2? If I took on b2, there's some sort of... let's protect c6, hold on. And kick the rook out. Queen takes rook. There's also on c4. There's queen b6 for queen e3. Potentially. Oh, okay. Thanks. I think I had some dangers there. I was a bit too greedy, I believe, in that game. My king safety was neglected. Try and Nimzo engine. It's not losing a piece, is it? Okay, I think it's okay if it's not losing a piece, so refracting d4 maybe. A bit of time gain, given the white the bishop here, but some time gain here. Maybe that c file is quick for black here. You never know. It could be a fast c file. Also, there's queen b6 quite quickly on f2. There might be some knight f2. You never know. But I'm happy that, in some respects, although that move, check, there's b4. That's a nice blockader. Try and lift it. Bishop e6, knight f3, rook c8 for c4. It's a bit pointless. We've played h5, just out of interest. Is knight f3, is this handled routinely? That sits on all my possibilities, like queen b6. Can't lift that blockade that easily. Knight f3. Looks totally sensible. Insufficient. I wanted to disturb things rather than just routinely castle. I'm not sure really it does that. Hang on. What have I missed? Okay. Well, this is taking an interesting turn now, for the worse. If I take check, takes, and then bishop h6 is nasty. So I think I'd rather just have the queens off here. And keep the pawns intact. Now, giving up that light square bishop might be a bit, it's controversial, isn't it? Because these light squares look quite tasty. Is it worth leaving that pawn there on f3? I think it would be quite some time to take that pawn. I'm going to do that. Unpin. Gives me knight e4 here. Knight e4. That's not going to be allowed, is it? Knight e4. It looks too good to be able to play knight e4. There we go. Well, that's nearly winning a piece with g5. There is bishop c7. It's like nearly winning a piece. I'll take it here first. g5. Bishop c7. Rook c8 is a horrible pin. There is, oh no, rook d4. There's f5. I don't see what's happening there. Apart from this horrible pin, for the most part. Which means king d7 is terminal. Alright. It protects the rook against king d7. b3. That's ending. On bishop a5. I can stop bishop a5 with b6. b3, b6. That's an interesting one. b5 here. All right, it's giving the bishop some life. I play b5. Now, okay, my king's on the light square away from the bishop. That's good tactically. If I play g4 or something, g4, there's no mating that here, is there? Rook h8. Well, maybe there is, maybe. Involving g3, g2. Yes. Just g3 immediately. This pin. There's no check, so it takes f2, king f1, rook h8, threatening rook h1. I don't know how that's exactly parried. So it takes f2, king f1. Or there's rook h1 on king g2. So it takes f1, queening. There's no immediate check with the rook. So rook h8 here. Threat, rook h1. So check this position or not. Just rook c1. I'm not sure this is great. Just rook c1 actually. Okay. Okay, go back to pin this for a moment. Rook f8. There's rook f8 here, we'll take the bishop. Yeah, it's difficult. Thank you, the game. Because Toby, this is a 3-minute game as well. Cool. I'll try and play one of my pets, one of my pet openings. A bit of speed, extra speed. I've been playing this a lot in bullet chess, a lot recently. I mean, I'll take off the e2 guy and get out of the pin. And I think that's a reasonable opening position to have from this. Play for b5. Does that mean play b5? Because that could undermine the centre here. b4. Looks like a nice juicy extra pawn. Bishop f5 looks to be almost winning the exchange. It is winning the exchange. Let's break the centre a bit more. Let me open the F file. I'll play for d5, d4. Good to play one's pet systems. Bit of extra time, confidence. Hang on, let's get rid of the queens. That pin's not going anywhere, so I'll improve my king first. In fact, how's the king and pawn ending? Why don't I just go to the king and pawn ending? Just take this. I'll take and then take here. I don't have to be sophisticated here, do I? It's protected past pawn. Just in case. It's not, I'm checking for stalemates. Yeah, thanks for the game, Toby. Okay. This is a fun one. Okay, so h4, h5. I suppose to mark out some light squares, I can justify that h5. I'm just going to spray my eyes with Optimist. I feel a bit dry and irritated. I shouldn't spray it into my coffee. Closed eyelids. Just sprayed it into my coffee. Probably. Okay, great. And if I castle, is it terrible on the king side? I'm hoping it's not terrible on the king side. That f file. If I can double rooks, then rook g3, threatening bishop h6. Is the centre falling apart? How quickly is the centre falling apart, basically, is the question. Wondering about c4 as well. Rook f3, queen h4, how annoying is that? There's always rook g3, I guess. If I want to protect h5, that is. This knight's... how pesky is it? I'll go for the tactic bishop h6 straight off the bat. Bishop h6, queen d2, king h7. If I play c4, let's kick this knight for a moment. If I can just get a battery with the bishop and queen, example, bishop f4, queen d2 for bishop h6. Okay, for the moment, if I can double like this as well, that's another battery opportunity, f4 to g4. And there's rook f6. Okay, b3, there's queen g4, rook g8. Okay, how? Hold the queen side first. He's abandoned his king a little bit. I rearrange in some way. How? Oh. Okay, no, I'm not entirely sure. Let's try and provoke a b6 weakness, actually, because then there's d5. If the a pawn, I've just noticed something about this knight. That if okay, there's a bit of trivia there with the knight. Pointless trivia. Okay, he didn't have to play the a pawn. Okay, he can protect f7. I get it. Everything's holding up at the moment. What about a g4, g5 plan if I really need to break through here? Is c5 crumbling the centre? That's another thing. If I play c5, how does his knight exploit d5? I'm gonna try this. I don't want to worry about my centre crumbling too much. There's also a plan on the queen side, b4, b5. If knight a6, b5. If I can get a pass pawn over there, that could be a major distraction, which could have some impact for this. I was just giving him the d5 square. That was clever. Well, that was a completely pointless exercise. Yep, just giving him a nice d5 square. Yep, I've been outplayed with that knight coming to d5. Great. G4, g5. Is that still any interest in that? Okay, I think... yeah, I'm thinking the dark squares there might be interesting. Like here, he's given himself a weak pawn on e6. That was unnecessary, I think, for him to do that. There's bishop h6 immediately here, isn't there? Knight g4. Alright, so king takes. Try and put the pressure. If knight g4, it's check now, winning knight. If rook g3, rook g6, knight h5, queen e4, king h8. Nope. There's no bishop h6, is there? I'll just run into knight h5. There's queen e4. He's protecting everything. There's queen f5 here. It's a bit short on time. Trying to avoid the stalemates. Thanks for the game. Yeah, I messed up positioning there. I thought there was no way a knight could get to d5. A knight got to d5 quite rapidly and efficiently after I said that. Okay, hi there. Ready? Okay. I guess that's a concern I have to maybe address. My centre collapsing here. There might be a Greek gift on castling. I'll stop bishop a3. I think bishop f5 over protecting e4. And I think there's a Greek gift. It looks like a ripe condition for the dreaded Greek gift. He's daring me. I'm going to take it on faith without too much calculation that there's a Greek gift here. Sacrifice. The dreaded Greek gift sacrifice. So h4 check. He's going into the firing line with his king. If king f4, g5 is checkmate. If king h3, knight e3 wins the queen. The thing is about the Greek gift, you don't always have to try for a checkmate. Although it's nice to get a checkmate. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the game. Okay, gotta be wary of the Greek gift, guys. Sorry. Yeah, you gotta be wary of the Greek gift when your knight's not on f3. The soft spots are more exacerbated when the knight's not on f3. And did I tell you I started some online coaching last year for the first time, because actually I have my own correspondence server. I haven't been doing any coaching, but I did get someone to practice. They're all looking at Greek gifts, and they found it very helpful to check out. Always on the lookout if there's no defensive knight for the soft spots in general. I mean, I think if you take a step back, we're talking about soft spots and how they can be made softer. If there's a defending piece missing, those soft spots are like softer, right? And you should look out for the sacrifices, yeah? Now here, look, the knight's not on f3, you know, the soft spot is softer, yeah? And also I've got this rook already developed. Why do I need to, like, develop the rook when it's, like, developed? And I think this is perfectly dangerous. I mean, you know, I can't see what's wrong with this. So, okay, knight g4, I'm threatening knight e3. Straight off the bat, knight e3. Is that time to swing the queen in? Queen f6, f takes. Well, there's either queen h6, dangerous for queen e3, or queen h2. If knight f4, queen h2, yeah. Okay, knight d4 looks good, or rook h2. If I can get a knight into e3, that looks killing. If I can get a knight into e3, because then I've got an option of taking the bishop, and then bishop h3 after. Knight e2, knight e3, knight d4, knight g2, queen g2 or king g2, bishop h3 will win an exchange if I wanted. Okay, he moves the rook to f2 though. But then again, in this position, you know, okay, he hasn't gone for that. Actually, there's a pin here with queen h2. But then king e7, I think. Okay, let's try and play the moves in the right order. No, so he's not losing the exchange. He's got queen h2. That's a shame. We had queen h2 with the pin. Okay, I'll take the exchange. No, my rooks are not really that great at the moment. This needs to be improved. This rook on a7 is a bit pathetic and liable to horrible things happening to it. Okay, so rook a8, king f8, king g7, something like that, or even queen h3. To consider queen h3 here. If rook f2, no, there is no mate. This guy needs to be improved anyway. I need to keep things closed here. Can I castle still? I'm getting mated. I should have played queen h3. I just realised that was dumb. The knight coming to d5 looks mega dangerous. In fact, even queen f6, rook g8, it looks scary. Yeah, this is looking scary. Okay, knight f6 threatened, queen e7. Trying to encourage f6. If my king could go to c7, it might not be entirely terrible, I hope. I can take here because of the pin. Might be the best thing to do. Queen f5, queen e6, knight f6, king e7 might be the best thing to do. Alright, so here I'm hoping knight f6, king e7 is okay for me. Otherwise, okay, I think king d7, knight f6, king c7. If e5, maybe d5. What about just king f8 for rook g8? Hang on, king f8 gives me rook g8 as a threat to win the knight. And queen h6, I'll happily take that off. So rook g8, threat. We've got howly weather at the moment here in London. Now rook g8 seems possible here. There's a nice skewer of queen and knight. Check takes rook g6 after. Where does the knight go? f5. Okay. Knight goes to f5. There's rook e8. If knight d6, rook d6. So knight f5, rook e8 is holding the fort, I think. Knight d6, rook d6. c5, can I crumble the centre? I mean d4, c5, okay. Take on e5 here. I think the worst is over. It did look extremely scary, actually. Maybe white had a win. My rook's still suffering, even in this position. A little bit. I wonder if I can just take the knight off an f6. Would I win that ending? There's no need to take the risk. Hold on. There's no need to take that risk of simplifying too quickly. Alright, that's maybe helpful. I'll do something else with the rook. I'm going to support e5 and then free up the rook. And pass pawn. Thanks again. Yeah, I think there was something for white, I suspect, there. I have to decline from non-premiers. Let's just check any non-premiers to decline. So if you want to be a premium member, that'd be cool. To challenge. I'm thinking I should have played. I'll mix things up with e4 a bit more. I seem to have gone into English openings as a preference now. Bit dull. Okay, so I think e4 for the next game, or g4, Grob. Maybe g4. I haven't played a Grob for a bit, ever. Maybe, I don't know. This is okay. So I lost 2 Botvinnik systems last week, didn't I? But in one of them, as I mentioned, I had Bishop A8. It's terrible. And the point there was, if you don't take the rooks, they come at you later and win all your pawns. G4, I'm wondering if there's a sack. Is F5 plausible for a nice pin on G5? It takes G4, knight moves, bishop G5. We have the idea of knight D5. I'm just wondering, how bad is that pin? It's not going in for it. And if I'll take the A file and try and squish then G4, knight G3. G5 F6 plan. If knight G3, it stops the knight H5 business. If you play the thing like that. So I want to play G5 and F6. Possibly this knight could be taken later. So G5 and F6 incoming to try and squish some pieces. This is a classic Botvinnik system plan you can sometimes get, but it's not necessarily winning or anything. I guess the bishop must go to F8. Try and knock out the best piece now. One of the best pieces, that knight on D4. And the idea of H4, H5 springs to mind, funny enough. Rook B2 is not a problem at the moment. My queen's protected by the rook. So H5 takes, and if it takes, there's F7. Alright, is there B3 here? It pins this one. Okay, that's pinned. It's a price to be paid for B3, but it's a sort of tempo. Is there anything interesting about this position I haven't noticed? What's this? Oh. Really? No. I can't believe it. I'm playing for H5 here. If takes, I'm going to use the H file. Okay, where's that knight going? Where is the knight going? HG, HG. And if I played knight F5 just for fun, try and accelerate my attack with knight F5, and then G6 after. Okay, what's going on? Okay, he was scared of G6. Well, the queen's not hanging, but Queen G3 is looking good. King H7. Okay, this pawn could be dangerous later. But in the meantime, I've got some attack, haven't I, still left? After King H7. How exactly though? This queen is harassing. I can't move the rook. Oh, cool. Blimey. King H3, Queen H1, King G4. It's not ideal. It's not what I had in mind. There's Rook H2 as well. And Queen H5, there's Bishop H4. I hope. Well, let's check as well. Alright, let's check. Alright, there's Rook F4 to G4 for G7. Potentially. Rook F4, G4. And Bishop H6, Rook G4, Rook G7 plan. And there's Queen F5 there. Queen F5, then in play it. Or not. There is King H2 first to avoid the check. b2, rook g4, queens, rook g7, king h6. I'll play like this. Let him take king h2. I can't see an immediate check. And there's queen f4 and king h6. Yeah, it was getting a bit scary for both sides there. Thanks. That was pretty scary, I think, for that pawn for me, especially my king as well. It seemed a bit dodgy. I'll play Grob, just to outrage you all. But you see, the thing is, why is the Grob a killer Grob? It's because I've listened to Basman's audio tapes back in the 90s, so I think I know more about the Grob than most people. So the killer Grob is like an English opening on steroids, because you're still trying to influence the d5 square, but you've got the option of g5 as well, so it is about d5, and you can still play English opening moves like c4. But he's been so terrified with this first move, he hasn't turned up to the game. Yeah. This is the fear that the Grob causes. He just hasn't turned up for the game. Okay. I seriously think it's like an English opening on steroids in a way, because you can still chip away sometimes on the light squares, but he is providing that he's doing the dreaded triangle defense. Okay. It's going to be like that, is it? The dreaded triangle has been set up. Dynamic play. The triangle has been compromised. Knight c3, bishop b2. Oh, that's a nice pawn sack over there. He's not developing any pieces. He's taking all my pawns, but you see, he's not developing any pieces. I'm going to castle queenside, d4, e4, and d5, 1-0. That's the basic plan. Look, he hasn't developed any pieces. I'm going to castle d4, e4, d5. I'm just going to break open the position with my extra development. And I've also got this G file ready-made if he did castle kingside. So am I being too optimistic about this position? Rook HE1 D5. That can stay there, locked in. Nice little target on B6. Later, Rook HE1 D5. There's not even a Queen F4 check here. The one hassle is this king there. D5 is not entirely desirable. Knight B5. Not doing too much at the moment. I'm playing for D5 in principle. D5 is coming. Mikhail Botvnik thought Michael Basman was a positional genius. Should have been a GM. Some people think Basman could have been a GM if he didn't play the Grob. But I don't know, the Grob is a very interesting weapon. Oh, Queen C3. Hang on, this is a hassle on Queen A2. That's not nice. Crikey, I didn't see this happening. I'm losing the A pawn. This isn't funny. He's doing all this with his king in the centre still. Crikey. Oh no, that's ruined my dream position. Can I take on E6 anyway for a moment? So takes, okay. And if I play the check, knight g5, king g8, I'm losing a piece, am I? There might be queen g6. I hope. In this position, I'm hoping there's queen g6 and there's rook b2. Have I just been stuffed? I've been absolutely stuffed. Because there's rook on b4. That didn't work out. Crikey, that did not work out. Rook b2 and queen c3 coming, if I'm not careful. Oh, crikey. I thought it was all going well for a moment. No way. Queen c3 is possible. I did not see this coming. I did not see this coming. Okay. Is there knight takes here? Try and save him some material. And there's knight a4. And there's queen c1 as well. Then rook b2 wins material, knight b2. Yeah, did not see any of this coming. With rook h4 to b4. It did not occur to me. Hang on. The bishop d5. Maybe not all is lost. But he had the immediate win, I think, queen c1 and rook takes b2. Just that was immediately winning in that position. Yeah. One move. This is cruel because I think just queen c1 check, rook takes b2 check, and what am I left with? Nothing. I got nothing. I can't even deflect this knight because he just takes with this one. It's important actually because if here, I think queen h3. Queens, there must be other moves as well. Queen b3. Hold on. There's queen b3. Oh no. All right. Maybe queen b3 is not so clear. This looks possible. Hold on. a4 there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we're playing a 4-2 game. Oh, this is going to take ages. I'll try to Grob. It's going to take. I shouldn't have accepted 4-2. I'll try the Grob again anyway. Try and see if I can do better with it. This could be expensive. Oh dear, I shouldn't have accepted this, should I? 4-2. Will it last not that much longer than a 5-minute game? I guess it's about the same time as a 5-minute game. h5 and g6. The killer Grob is a killer for a reason. You can move these pawns sometimes. h5 and g6. I get a knight to f5, that might be dangerous. Oh, is he picking off the g5 pawn? Ed knight d4, bishop g5, knight f5. He could be picking off my pawn. This is possible. Okay. And this position, intriguing. I don't suppose queen e2 or bishop f1 is handy. I played a4, yeah. Bishop h3 for bishop e6. If king g7, rook h7, king h7. Now, would in that line, it would help if my queen had access to h1. How does my queen get access to h1? But there's also this diagonal, but cd c3. cd c3. There's king e2. That's wacky. There's a little trap, king e2. Is that dirty? dc, rook h7, queen h1, queen h6, mating. You could play d3, but that does solve the d3 pressure if I play king e2. If rook f3, rook h7, he's got some squares. King f3 there. What about cd c3, king e2? Then there's a check on b5. King f1 to g2 is another way of playing it. Or just, what about rook c1, just to be sane for a moment? Is that knight? Oh, since I've analysed this crap, I'm going to play it. It's quite a subtle trap for a blitz game, isn't it? Rook h7, queen h1. I mean, it's not immediately obvious. I mean, is it? I mean, maybe it is. Alright, is rook f3 the best refutation? King f3, knight e5 wins a piece, yeah. That doesn't look good. Rook f3. I can still play the check, check, check. But maybe that's still check. No, rook f3, rook h7 takes check. It's still mate. The king's not escaping to f8. So let's go back to d3. d3, king f1 to g2. I'll go to g2 to still have the same idea. He's committed the pawns. If I take, I want to play knight d4, I think. I suppose he's got rook f3. It would have been nice to have knight d4 to e6, but it's not going to happen, is it? Knight f3, bishop g4. It's all falling apart, is it? Bishop g5. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Don't know. There's nothing much left of the position, really. It's resignable. It's resignable. I've got several pawns down. It's just been shut my positions. Been absolutely wrecked. I thought it was a clever trap anyway. But anyway. Okay. I'm resigning. Okay. Alright. Okay, I left my position in a wreck, I guess. But it wasn't, I don't know. Annoyed with myself. B5 plan. Okay, so I'll play for B5. B5. Right, what time is it? It's 2:04. Yeah. Okay, a few more games. So there's some pressure here. Okay, some pressure on the queen side. I'll just take this. So queen a1, rook b2, or just queen a3. It looks pretty dangerous. Whatever, it looks pretty dangerous here. Queen a2, rook b1. Let's c4, or rook b2 first, and on rook b3. Keep the king around. Actually, rook b1 looks mating. King c1, rook b1 is mating. Yeah, thanks for the game, Silverstein. Luke, hi, Luke. Against you, I'll play the English opening, I think. Okay, Luke, are you ready? Are you ready? Hello, Luke. Are we there? Are we there? Come on. Okay, coffee time, coffee time. Okay, what happens with is the tick box still around for creating a game? Okay, I think I might have to have bought this at this rate. Okay, I bought it, I think. Well, maybe challenge me later, Luke. Okay. Bought. Oh, cool. No, I have to stay away from the 4-2. Oh no. Or can I win a 4-2? I need to prove to myself I can win a 4-2. Okay. The increment. I hate increment games in general. I shouldn't have said that. You're all going to be sending me increment challenges, aren't you? Oh boy. There's a link here. Advertising. Oh dear, something. This doesn't bode well at the moment, I gotta say. I mean, maybe it's okay. It's okay. C4 and D5. Am I weakening myself? Maybe I'm weakening myself. It's possible. Rook b1, knight d4. Bishop was on f5, knight d4. Rook, I don't know. In one respect, I like my position. In another, it's suspicious. These double pawns. I guess structurally, I'm under pressure. A3 is under pressure. Bishop g6. f4 for f5? Is that possible? Would he lock in his own bishop? Because maybe then bishop d3 on f5. Bishop d3 on f5. Can I not do this? If rook e8, bishop f2, bishop f5, knight f5. If bishop f2 there, am I not trapping that bishop? Bishop d4, bishop d4. Is the bishop trapped or not? This is the question. So bishop takes, knight takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. Rook e2 I could consider, queen takes. Queen e7 I could consider. The knight's holding the bishop at the moment. Fg, bishop d4, bishop d4, queen e2. Alright, on queen e7, can I play bishop d3 might be safest, holds c4, holds f5 again. I've got queen h5 on bishop h5. Maybe. And there's queen e5 to be a nuisance. Queen e5 next. c3. I'm still trapping that bishop. c3, does that fall apart to something? c3. Okay, I'll take the bishop. Knight b5 for rook a4. Is that worth considering? So he takes knight b5, the bishop moves. Okay, taking on f7 gives me e6 actually. Even though that is a double pawn, I'm taking out. Now this gives me queen h5. Queen h5 is on the cards. Incoming queen h5 threat. King g8, queen h5, bishop g6 on g6. And this looks too strong to allow here. Looks too strong. Bishop g6. Oh, thanks for the game. Okay. Olaf. Hi there. Happy New Year to everyone, by the way. The bunny ears are somewhere. I don't know. Oh, they are over there. Okay. It's kind of respectable opening, isn't it? I hope. I won't waste time with Finchetto because there's no time really to waste, I think. So this was a kind of Queen's engine with a3, and I reacted with c5. So it's an interesting stuff. I'm wondering if knight d5 is possible. There's knight d5, bishop takes. It's always on c7, but knight d5 is a tactic I think to bear in mind. So if ed, bishop g5, if knight takes, okay, he's giving me that dark square bishop. Here it looks as though c4 is possible. almost. Queen c8, queen e2. No, maybe not. Just play for b5, I think. Plays a4, right? Nope. Okay. Okay, if I get to play c4, well, then there's knight d7 to c5. Or knight e5. Is knight e5 any good? Or knight c5? Knight c5. Okay, rook e8, queen b6. Or rook e8, a5, b4 looks squishy. Stop knight f5. Okay, if the bishop drops back, something like a5, b4 looks like a poor majority is underway. So a5, b4, or winning the bishop with b3. I'll get out of the way of e5 for a moment, because if it takes, maybe d5's weak. So a5, b4, b3 plan, because that's positional as well as tactical, because tactically it's threatening to win the bishop. Positionally, it's kind of based on the poor majority. b3 threatened. b3 threatens. If he plays b3, he's opening up the bishop. Oh, that gives me knight d3. If queen c4, there's bishop a6 as well to think about here. I can take this exchange, I think. Yes. Right, there's bishop a6 to hold there for a moment. And there's queen a5 to try and take the queens off. There's also, of course, rook b2 with two connected passed pawns. But maybe just simple is queen a5 to get the queens off first. Except there's queen d6. Probably rook b2. Rook b2 just to hold d6 for a moment. If queen d2 c3 with that pin. Okay, I've got d4 under control. The knight here is not doing too much. It's kind of inhibited. Okay, so rook b2, I think, coming up. That doesn't look convincing to me. For a start, there's rook a5. There's also queen a5. But rook a5 gives me rook b5 or rook c5. Pressure again. Queen b6 on b2 again. Get the queens off. Okay, I'll take this guy. Not too worried about getting checkmated at the moment. Because it seems safe enough, basically. Because, okay, takes, HG, HG. There's always a check here as well, taking e4. I can counterattack immediately on f2. Queen e3, I'm taking and okay, counterattack. Takes h6, queen g2. If my rook takes, then if he takes here, rook takes. If it takes there, bishop takes, so he ends up losing another pawn. So h6, queen g2. Right, if hg, rook g7, otherwise I'll take this one. Put the king on f6 here. Seems safe enough. Extra bishop. Weak d5. D pawn. Alright, okay, blockade. Alright, H pawn then. Alright. He has got rook. No, I suppose rook d5 if he wants to fail. I'm going to take this now. I'm alright. Still not worried too much. Maybe I should be. There's d3 here. If check, then there's king f5. Okay, h1, rook e1. Alright, thanks for the game on F. Now, someone who was 2,800 last week is still 2,800 this week. Should be worried, huh? I'm not gonna, the bright side is there's a silver lining here. I'm not going to lose too many rating points, am I? If I did lose. He let me off with a draw last week. Repetition, some sort of. It's a 3-minute game, huh? It's gambit. He's not accepting the gambit clearly. E4. Oh, the check wins the bishop. Hold on a sec. Yeah, check would win the bishop. Safety point. Except, there's rook f2 there, and there's bishop c5. Let's get out of this. I'm losing material, aren't I? Knight f2 and bishop c5 coming up. Yeah, it looks as though I'm losing material to knight f2, maybe a bishop c5. That looks too dangerous to allow bishop c5. Oh, foul then. f5. He's got queen e3 for queen g5. It's going there. Is that e6 or something? Knight e2 to f4. Oh, f6. Coming up. There's bishop e4, unfortunately. Knight d4 here. No. Knight f4 stops rook d1. F6 might give him a scare. Bishop e4. The knight's holding g2, so f6, bishop e4, queen g4, or simply fg there. Alright, this bishop e4 is too dangerous. What is that? f6, bishop e4, fg, bishop e4, knight e4. Try it. fg in this position. Queen's holding h2. Okay, I can't unpin here, I guess. Down on the clock, 20 seconds as well. Can't unpin. That looks pretty doomed. Rook d2. It's queen h6 to nick a pawn. Then not much else after. I think that's pretty much it there. Yep. Well, okay, as I said, I'm going to lose too many rating points. Lose 2 rating points. Well played. Thanks for the game. Okay, so a slightly lower rated opponent by 600 points. These 2800s nowadays still crush you. So I thought I was lucky to draw last week. Was it last week? Yeah. Okay, so this is another 3-minute game. It's quite fast paced today. Rook c1 and knight d5 for rook c6. Okay, I'll hold the center for a moment. And have I got anything here? The center's, at least it's not crumbling too quickly. 95, well, my knight's protecting the queen. I'll go back all the way because I might be holding d4 like this. And if I get some king safety going, well, the bishop's nice on the king. He hasn't got a light square bishop. This might be justifiable here. Queen g4 coming up, holds d4 as well, hits g6. And if I castle queenside, is that terrible? Or queen h3. Yeah, if knight e3, queen h7. That looks quite dangerous, doesn't it? If knight h6, maybe I can take check, king d1. Alternatively, I could castle. but maybe just taking. Check looks dangerous for rook g1 here. Alright, so rook g6, then bishop f5, then rook g7. And if the queen takes, then there's bishop h6. So rook g6 coming up. Okay, this knight f3 business. Do I worry? I'll just play king f1. Rook g7 for bishop h6. If bishop e5. Okay, I think there's a check. And then king e8, there's rook g8. The queen's hanging. Queen's hanging here. Well, it's not. But it kind of, maybe bishop f6. The king's popping out, but there's queen h4. King's popping out for dinner. There's rook g7 here. Not me. There's rook g7 in this position. If bishop takes, rook f7. If queen takes, check. Yeah, rook g7. Now, let's see, knight f3, king f1, knight g5. There's always rook f7. Okay, there's knight d5 coming up. Oh, is he going to play rook h8? That'll be interesting. Oh, that spoils things. It's having a great time there. Okay, I haven't got too long to think about this. Am I losing a rook then? Oh, I was looking forward to rook e1 and knight d5 in that position. That's such a shame. Okay, what have we got here? Got to be careful. Crikey, this is getting dangerous. f4 against bishop g5. This is scary. f4 immediately. He hasn't got too long to think about this. No, even if I'm losing, it's not enough time. I've only got 10 seconds as well. It was exciting. Alright, Luke challenged earlier, right? We're playing a 5-minute, okay. This is a weird Benoni coming up. I think it could be a very favourable Benoni because this looks like strange. Getting some development here. Queen b7, knight b4, then rook b8. Okay. I'm still playing Benoni plan, knight c7, a6, b5. So, you know, it's not entirely terrible. I think a6, b5. Yeah, I'll still play it here because I think the centre's in meltdown, potentially. I think queen e8 looks interesting, just to try and blast through the b file with b2 as a target. Okay, whilst d5 is being held, oh, that's the point. Okay, can I tickle this pawn? If rook 8, then bishop c8. If rook a6, bishop c8. b2 is the target here. Crikey, I've really I've overestimated my chances of winning this pawn. Is there bishop a6 now? That's okay. I still think the center now is on the scrutiny. Maybe I'm wrong about that. No, d6 is a problem. Still playing like this though. Hold on. d6 doesn't have to be an immediate problem. Alright. Whilst there's no d5 though. Is that, well, c4 and c3 could do something interesting, but I'm weakening the d4 square. I can go to d5 and then knight b4 maybe. Shut down protection of the b pawn. So I'm hitting f4. Except my d6. Do I need to play? There's knight a5 coming up as well. Crikey. Alright, that's a pin, isn't it? Right, if I play knight b4, oh, f7 drops. c4 here, queen c4, rook d6. Oh, I'm still losing material. Take. Oh, he takes and then queens, does he? Rook a8. Yeah. Never saw this pawn being so dangerous. Yeah. Pawn so dangerous. King here, check, bishop b8. You'll play king f1, I guess. King f1, end of game. Ah! Yeah, okay. That was strange. Okay. I think that's it. It's been like 2 hours. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming. Happy New Year. And yeah, I had some tough challenges this week. Pretty tough. Okay. Thanks very much. See you next time. Happy New Year. Cheers then.